On October 16th, 2025, Pokemon Z-A finally released after what felt like an eternity to me. Now, relative to, say, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it has received relatively favorable reviews, in spite of some
choices.
I'll talk about Z-A in a little bit, but in order to prepare for the release of the game, I really wanted to play some of the older titles. Over this last year, I got incredibly addicted to various creature catchers, including Temtem, again, probably playing it for the fourth time, Koromon, Nexomon, I want to say as well, but I mean, you gotta play Pokemon, so I did. I have previously played the first two generations. Other than Pokemon Green, I believe I played every single iteration of the first two generations. Most recently would have been Crystal, and then I dropped the entire series after that. I had a Game Boy Advance, but I think I was in that stage of my life where it was too uncool to play Pokemon, so I moved on to the PlayStation 2. Either way, I finally got access to a DS and a 3DS, so I finally have the ability to play generations, 3 through 7, which I've never played before. That being said, there are some incomplete games, and I don't know if I actually have played Generation 3, but I kind of have, but I'll get into that in a little while. So just a disclaimer at the top here, I'm not going to talk about the pros and cons of the stories for the most part, because, I mean, let's just be honest, they're all sort of basically kind of the same. If there's a notable difference, and I feel like it's worthy of a pro or a con, I'll try to address it, but honestly, that's about the gist of it. Just slap a different single word noun or verb after team, and there you go. So first, let's talk about Generation 4. I did not play the original game, which would have been, Diamond and Pearl? Instead, I played Shining Pearl. I think that's the one. For the pros for this game, number one is Cynthia. I love Cynthia. She is so iconic that she's kind of the only thing I knew about this game. Like, truly, I know about her Garchomp, and, well, actually, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. That is embedded into my brain from the way people have talked about this game for years. The other pro related to her is her battle theme. Not even her battle theme. That's pretty generic, all things considered, but it is the psychotic piano riff that happens while you're talking to her in the Elite Four. Oh my god, it is phenomenal. And it's so, terrifying. And having fought her, I totally get it. It is terrifying. And little did I know that she was going to be the one single battle I'd lose in the entire game. That was frustrating. That's it for the pros. I didn't have a lot of pros for this game. Let me also say, this was not the first game that I played when I went back to playing the older generations. I did start out with Black and White, moved on to Ultra Sun and Moon, played both of them. Then I think the rest of them, I kind of played all at the same time. I was just kind of weaving in and out. But something about, I really didn't care for Shining Pearl. I mean, it was fine, but I do have to move on to my cons for it. And there are a few. It was a lot easier to type this list out. I didn't really care for the chibi art style. The plasticine characters really didn't do it for me. I prefer the slightly more realistic characters in the more recent games, or the pixel art. When the characters showed up and they were before a battle and they were their normal size, I'm like, oh, why can't I be seeing these around the world? They're so much more interesting, especially the Cynthia. That one looked so much better than her little chibi one walking around. And that's not to discredit the art style. If you like it, fine. It just didn't really work for me. And now, while I said generally the stories were fine, I didn't care about this story. I didn't really like it all that much. The friend slash rival, was it Barry? I just found him to be incredibly grating. Every time he showed up, I'm like, oh great, I have to listen to this guy again. And then following the team around, I'd already played Legends Arceus, so it just felt repetitive. I think part of the problem too was this was sort of the last one I played out of the new plays of all the older games, and so I think I'd just gotten burnt out on the Pokemon story formula, and this was an earlier story, so they were only just starting to get some kind of emotional depth in the story. All the other ones I'd played up until this point were just subjectively better, which made this one kind of a tedious step back. And also, the battles felt so sluggish. I absolutely love in the later games experience candies, rare candies, generally from like the raids, whatever they're called for the game. Oh, those are so nice. I have hundreds of experience candies. I just don't really like the grind of having to level up your Pokemon. Like all of the ROM hacks for Pokemon games have basically implemented a feature that allows you to at least level up to whatever the gym should be. And I think that is a correct way to do it because it's just a lot. The battles feel so incredibly slow and they were just hard. I don't know why I was having such a hard time in this game. Actually, I think it was because I was trying to get through it faster that I did not put in any extra effort to try to level up, that I just ended up getting stuck in such not unwinnable situations. I think I still won every fight until I got to Cynthia, but it was so difficult relative to any of the other games I'd played so far. And I did lose to Cynthia. She whooped my ass. And when I lost to her, I had no desire to go back. Like, okay, I lost. I'm not playing this again. It was fun while it lasted. But then I remembered I have Pokemon Home, and so I sent over level 100 Palkia and succeeded quite easily on the next go around. Actually, I did almost lose that level 100 Palkia. She is so hard. I mean, granted, it's a dragon type, which sure didn't help anything, but damn, she is no joke. So then I want to talk about my experience with Black and White, and Black and White 2. I'm just going to kind of lump them both together because that is sort of what they felt like, was just one kind of long, cohesive game. I mean, the first pro is it just felt so novel playing the game on a real 3DS. I did not emulate any of these games. I did play them on the original hardware. And it was just fun playing on a DS, which I've never done before. Another pro, would you call it a pro? Maybe it's more of just a neutral statement, is about, well, I do like some of them. The new Pokemon designs. Black and White is still in a generation where the new Pokemon make some kind of sense. I think we all know in some of the more recent generations, they've kind of gone off the rails a little bit. I still am not the biggest fan of Klefki. It is kind of cute, but just as a basic design principle, I almost can't get over the fact that it's just a key ring. And like, I get that Pidgey is just a bird, and Eevee is just a fox, but being just an animal feels more correct to me than just looking around an office and making the first thing you see into a Pokemon. I mean, I guess I get the humor behind it. Well, yeah, okay, fine, but in Black and White, they are still pretty, like, logical designs, like, they're just animals for the most part, but given some sort of special ability. But I do really like Sigilyph and Druddigon. I really wish there was a pronunciation key for these, and if there is, I'm so sorry that I was lazy and didn't look it up. But otherwise, the designs feel very iconic and just like staples for the future generations. Like so many of them I've seen in, well, future generations, and it would feel wrong for them not to be there. I think of a lot of like some of the grass Pokemon just feel that way. But it was a decent new haul overall, I'd say. I did really like N. Here's another thing. I don't know how people feel generally about any of these games. I'm just going off of how I feel about them. I don't know if they're well loved or not, but N, I feel like could be a little bit grating just because he's, well, idealistic, and sometimes, sometimes the naive White Knight character can be a little grating because you just want them to get their head out of their ass. But I thought he was a compelling character, especially once you got to sort of the end and you see what his life had been like and how he had been raised. That room with all of the toys just is so creepy and haunting. Just kind of just like a gross situation where he's been a child his whole life, possibly. Like, has he been living there until quite recently? Very strange, very weird. But I like to see his character arc because he has a character arc where he learns and grows and becomes his own person. I did also like the world going around and going into hidden areas. I think is a huge bonus in any Pokemon game. I love when you unlock a new move and you can go somewhere else. It's like, oh, I'm exploring. I'm going somewhere that you're not supposed to. This is so fun. A little bit trickier in some of the more recent ones. Looking at you, Scarlet and Violet, where nothing is really hidden. It's just all out in the open and you can access it pretty easily, pretty early on. Oh, good lord, I am just a huge fan of the Shaking Grass and the Audinos, because in this game, while I did have a modded 3DS eventually, I did not have one for Black and White, so I couldn't, level myself up easily, so I had to use Audinos, and oh boy, I did not realize that Black and White was going to turn into Genocide Simulator, but by God, it sure did. That poor Audino species got devastated, but thank you for the sacrifice because it really helped me get through to the end of the game. As for the cons, the biggest one is the lack of connectivity. I was just so bummed that there were so many features, ostensibly, I don't even know what they all were, but I couldn't access any of them because everything's been taken offline. Like, there's this whole central area, the Entralink. There are, I think I'm maybe thinking of Black and White 2, where there's the avenues that you can set up, and people will come and go as you interact with them in the real world. If you're the Street Pass or whatever it's called, maybe online, people will just randomly show up, but sure can't experience that when there is no such connection. And that really did suck. I do really like those things, and I think I would have just eaten that shit up if it was still available. Definitely if I had played it at the time, but oh well, I guess I just have to deal without it. The hair on the male character in Black and White 2 was diabolical. A giant tree of just grass sticking out behind a visor, just truly abysmal. I always play the male character because I'm, I don't know, sexist, I guess, but I absolutely played the female character for this game because I could not be seen dead looking like that little boy and his horrendous hair. Just the absolute worst. And we are gonna get into the hats more later. Still not sure how I feel about the cartoonishly evil villains. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. It's honestly mainly for kids, and I'm a 92-year-old man at this point. But it just... once you've played 18 different games with the exact same storyline, it does kind of start to fall flat a little bit, but they were... in contrast to N and his character, I suppose it's fine for Black and White 2, but again, it's certainly not in the pro or the neutral column. Also, I never did end up getting to Anvil Town, or whatever that town name is. It's up in the left corner of the map, and I have no idea how to get there. I am certain, if I looked it up, I could figure it out, but I don't know, give me a hint somewhere. Like, how do I get up to that town? Is there something there that's important or cool or fun? I mean, yeah, I suppose I probably shouldn't put something in the con column when I didn't bother to look it up, but, well, here we are. Okay, this is gonna be a pretty short one. We're gonna talk about Gen 6 now. I don't like it. I was not having a good time. I'll just get that right out of the gate. I did love the 3D effect. I don't quite remember when it shows up. I think it's in the battles, but it was the first time I'd ever seen the 3D effect, and it's just similar to playing black and white with the DS. It's just so novel and interesting, like, whoa, how'd they do this? This is so cool! Probably wears off eventually, and I don't think I could do it for that long because I was starting to make my eyes feel a little funny. That could just be because I was getting used to it, but it's cool. I enjoyed that part of it. I didn't really like anything else. I will say I did not... I got to Lumiose City, I believe is what it's called, and I got just to... some kind of like Stonehenge in maybe the next city after Lumiose, and then I stopped playing. It wasn't bad per se, but I just was not interested. It wasn't gripping me. It wasn't telling me, hey, you want to keep playing me, right? No, as it turns out, I didn't really want to keep playing it. I did not like the friends that you were kind of running around with. They were kind of grating. I didn't really like the like meek little boy and the weird dancer kid. The one girl that is assuming to be your rival, I don't know if I got far enough to really figure that out. She was fine. I didn't mind her. The rest of them really could have done without, personally. I just didn't really care about what they had going on. I was also kind of feeling that way about the game in general. That's not to say I won't go back and finish it. I might. It just, like I said, it wasn't really pulling me in, so I just moved on to something else. So I'll just move on then to Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. I played Moon for I think I completed the first island challenge and went a little bit further past that, and then I kind of was like, well, if I'm gonna be playing this, shouldn't I be playing the like updated version? So I got the updated version, and I have Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now, my opinions are a little bit in flux, because I'm still processing all of it, and, well, I've been affected this month from some things in the real world, and you could maybe put that together. But Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon might be my favorite Pokemon game. Is that a controversial opinion? I really liked Sword and Shield, but there's something about the island challenge, the completely optimistic rival that you've got, the story, the Ultra Beast, like just the whole package I was really enjoying. I could probably push it down to maybe number 2 and move Sword and Shield back up, because wow, I really liked Sword and Shield. Actually, really liked Legends Arceus as well. We'll get to that. It was really good. I had a really good time with Ultra Sun and Moon. But, to be more specific, something about the battles, I'm comparing this to, what was it? Shining Pearl? I want to say Shining Diamond, because that just feels more correct, but I think it's Brilliant Diamond. Anyway, like comparing those battles with these ones just felt so much snappier. Like, I just felt like I was bogged down in loading screens and slow move animations in Shining Diamond, I almost got it again. Shining Pearl, there we go, okay. But these, I was able to just kind of like get into the swing of things immediately, win a battle, and move on. I think people don't like how the rival / I wouldn't say best friend because you literally just moved to the island, but he probably insinuates himself as your best friend. I really liked him. There's something, I've been seeing a lot of like rival characters that are, I don't know, depresso a little bit. Like, Hop in Sword and Shield, he sort of had a character arc where he got depressed because, oh, I'm just not as good as anybody else. In Black and White 2, Hugh also has a character arc, I guess. Everyone's just kind of going through something, but how being so optimistic the entire time was just so refreshing because I didn't have to like worry about the emotions of another character like, oh no, is he going to be going through something? No, as it turns out he's not. And that just made it so much lighter and just such a light, airy experience that might have a significant impact on my feelings toward this game. It's so funny because I've only ever seen people making fun of him and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, it's not cool to like an optimistic character for once. Another pro is Red and Blue, being obviously boyfriends. You meet them in the post-game and like, oh yeah, they're definitely going around and they are boyfriends. I will hear no slander saying anything different. They are together, and I'm so happy for them. And I wish them all the happiness in the world. And so do a lot of other people online. Also, Adult Red, you can tell he's got a sleeper build under there. He's absolutely rocking like an 8-pack. As for cons, I suppose it didn't really have much of a post-game, even though, I was just talking about post-game. That's one of the complaints I saw about it, and I kind of just didn't interact with the post-game in a lot of the games anyway, because I didn't know how, for the most part. Like, I know there generally is one, but I wasn't really sure what to do, and so I didn't. And I didn't know, like, is there something hidden somewhere that I can go to, or is it just the two things that I've been told? Like, go get the Mega Evolutions at the Battle Tree, and get the Ultra Beasts, maybe something else. Like, I truly have no idea what there was. And can I just add another con here? Why are you locking the Mega Evolutions behind post-game grinding content? It would have been so fun to play the game with Mega Evolutions at various points. Like, at the 3/4 mark, unlock that ability, not after you've beaten the final boss, essentially. I would have enjoyed that because when I was playing this, I had never experienced Mega Evolutions before. I'd never played anything yet that had Mega Evolutions. And even when I unlocked it, I still never played with Mega Evolutions because I would have had to go through the battle tree and unlock the items there. So that was unfortunate. Also partially my problem because I just didn't want to put in the work to do it, but make it easier. That would have been so nice for me. But that's about it for cons. Like I said, I just really liked it. Okay, let's talk about, what would it be, Generation 8? I'm not really sure. But, I mean, I did play Sword and Shield when I had made my last Pokemon video, but I had not played Legends Arceus, so now I can talk about it a little bit. Oh boy, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but I love a task. Oh man, the way that game scratched a completionist itch. I don't like completing games to get platinums on PlayStation. I didn't complete all the tasks in this, my god no, but just the immediate feedback loop of saying, you completed these tasks, here's a bunch of money, here's an unlock, here's something else that you can craft. Oh, it was just the perfect feedback loop for me. I had to play the game again, and I think, did I beat it again? I actually don't remember. But I just wanted to do more tasks. I wanted to start over and get stars again. Oh, getting money at the end of an outing is nice, but getting that star once you've gotten enough points is just so satisfying. Oh man, I had so much fun with that specifically. Other than that, it was fun. I really liked it. I loved the ability to throw Pokeballs yourself. That was so much more fun than picking Pokeballs from a menu. Oh, I absolutely loved doing that, just hucking them, going into an outbreak and just throwing Pokeballs all willy-nilly. Man, that was so much better. Also, the style was so refreshing as well. I loved the font texture, just the font when you're in battle, and the extra, like, the ink swipe that it does when you're doing all sorts of stuff. It's so nice to be able to see something different from a Pokemon game other than just, like, fucking Arial font. Like, ooh, wow, Arial font in a text box, so cool. But having a little bit of style in something, it's sort of that, like, Persona 5-ness where other games in the series are, I don't know, maybe you'd liken it to an indie RPG where it's using the stock font and stock images, but Legends Arceus is Persona 5. It's got style in all of the little places that the Pokemon games really need, and I'm a little afraid that Z-A is probably going to bring back the boring, regular font, because it really looks like clean and modern in a way that I'm a little nervous about. I'll probably be fine with it, but it won't wow me in the way that it did in Legends Arceus, which will be unfortunate, but I'm sure I'll have a good time anyway. Wow, I don't really have a lot of cons, honestly, for Legends Arceus. Man, I've really been struggling to think of one, so I'm just gonna have to go without a con. If anything, there are perhaps a lot of like neutral things that didn't detract or add, but I can't think of anything that I was like, I really hate that Legends Arceus did this. So, good for you guys. I really hope you keep that same energy up in Z-A. We'll have to see. Okay, so now we kind of have to circle back a little bit to Generation 3. Just right out the gate, I did not play Generation 3 properly. I am familiar with it, I've seen people playing it, but it turns out getting a hold of one of those copies is really difficult, actually, and kind of expensive for some of them. And what I ended up doing was I ended up playing ROM hacks of Generation 3, which has been interesting. I played Pokemon Emerald Rogue, which is the roguelike. That was fun. It also had a lot of the more quality of life features that have come with the more recent games. The more recent ROM hacks, I should say. Love being able to speed up. Love being able to use the R button to throw a Pokeball rather than going into a menu. And I've played a handful of others like Pokemon Odyssey, my husband, what the hell's he playing right now? Not Hydro Bliss, but damn, there's so many of them that I can't remember them all, but I've played bits and pieces of a few, all of them are based on Emerald. So, oh, no, that's not strictly true that I haven't played it. I did play not even to the first gym of Alpha Sapphire. That one was emulated. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about Generation 3. It is, I guess, everyone's favorite. So it's kind of unfortunate that I haven't played the full actual game. It's been sort of an X and Y situation where it didn't grab me, and so I played it in different ways that I actually did enjoy. So I mean, we can sort of count it, right? No, we can't. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe eventually I'll play it. Oh, well, listen, Nintendo, if you want to actually get something valuable out of this, if someone's listening, why not put these games on the Switch store or put them in the, what the hell's it called? The Nintendo Online. Wow, that would be so nice. Or, if you're not doing that because you're going to remake the games, or re-release them in some other way, do that! I want to be able to play these games on the Switch. Everyone wants to be able to play these games on the Switch. What is taking so long? I swear, Nintendo just loves... They make money hand over fist, but then when they've got an obvious way to make money, they're like, ooh, no, we'd really rather take the road less traveled. Anyway, I also, one last little thing, I played Poke Rogue. That is the browser-based Pokemon roguelike. I was addicted to that for like a couple of weeks. But then once I beat it a couple of times, I realized, oh wait, I've finished the story. And I don't like playing a game when there's no more story left. I don't like playing just to play. I need a goal. And since I didn't have a goal anymore, I stopped playing. It was really fun. It was super addictive for someone like me. It was, oh my god, it ruined me. This is the con for it. It ruined my ability to play other games for a short while because I was able to speed it up by like 5 times. And so, oh man, you want to talk snappy Pokemon battles? When you can speed them up to 5 times speed, you never want to play them at regular speed ever again. So that could be a factor that impacts any of my other feelings earlier on in this list. But it certainly impacted my ability to play games normally. So we'll put that in both the pro and con column. So, what to say about Z to A? First of all, it's Z to A. I don't care because you're going from Z to A. So calling it ZA, I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. Overall positive reactions, but I really wanted more. I wanted, I don't know, some balconies, for example. I wanted outside the city. So I'll get to that in a minute. I did actually like the Pokemon fighting. Something I guess I didn't realize or think about until the game had been released and I'd already been playing it is that the mainline Pokemon games all have the standard battle formula. It's mixed up maybe ever so slightly. But something that I forgot was that all of the other Pokemon games, not all of them, but so many of the other side games have a different battle mechanic. If it's even a battle mechanic at all, I think of Pokemon Rangers where you're drawing circles around them. That has nothing to do with battling for the most part. So I wasn't really, taken aback by this new fighting style. I actually kind of liked it. It kept things going pretty quickly because sometimes, as I said earlier, some of the battles tend to take a little bit too long. Looking at you, Pokemon Shining Pearl. And I also actually like the characters, the people that you're going around with. Naveen, I don't know, they really could have done more with him. Kind of, I think what we're going to end up seeing is more about these characters fleshed out in the future. I mean, spoiler for the ending to some degree, but we don't have resolution for one of the main characters. So we're definitely going to be seeing more about that. But I don't know, I didn't think they were grating, which sometimes they have a habit of being. Looking at you, Nimona. So they were a little bit more restrained this time around, and that kind of felt nice. Also, I absolutely had a ton of fun going and getting all of the Mega Shards. Not all of the Mega Shards, but I don't know, there's something satisfying about having my Talonflame using Quick Attack every 3 seconds to bust up a bunch of Mega Shards. That was a nice little thing to keep my little lizard brain occupied. And I actually liked that, I don't know, by and large, there was no villain. That was kind of refreshing, just that you're all kind of working together, power of friendship sort of situation to save the city, rather than saving it from a group of people. Granted, there are some people that have some perhaps dubious motives, but there was no group of people you were fighting, and that was a refreshing change. I mean, I guess Legend Z to A didn't really have much in the way of fighting a group of people, so maybe it's a Legends formula that we're going to see going forward. But like I said before, I had pretty decent feelings for the game. But that said, let's talk about some of the cons. The first con that I had in the entire game was skipping from, what was it, V to F in the Z to A or ZA Royale? Royal? Royale. I don't remember now. I get it. I understand that making us go all the way from Z to A would have been a lot. It would have been a bit of a tedious grind, but I wish they had let us do it and figured out a different way to progress the story. I don't know how, necessarily. It could have just been that we didn't need to get to A to finish the story. We could have just gotten to, whatever, G or N, and then we would have progressed to whatever we needed to, and then had the option to finish all the way up to A. That I would have enjoyed, probably. I say that, but I wonder if I would have gotten sick of the grind. But I do think I don't know, they could have done it a little bit differently because it felt a little cheap, frankly. Also, as I was alluding to before, good lord, I really wish we could have gone outside the city. We really only got a couple of other areas like, the sewers and the lab near the end, and that was it. And just, I guess there were some parks, but some, I don't know, like a forest, even just for a quest would have been nice. I really wanted outside the city. And I would hazard a guess that we're going to see maybe something like that with a DLC in the future. Some story DLC, I think it's supposed to come out in February, I don't quite remember. And then I don't really know how to explain it. My last con is just a nebulous feeling of I wanted something else. Like it doesn't have the sauce. It's missing that certain joie de vivre, and I can't quite place my finger on it other than just an amalgamation of all the things I've already said. Like, it's a combination of factors. I would have been nice to be able to, like I said, see other places and also identify moves in battles more. Everything was so frantic I couldn't, place anything, so it just felt like I'm pressing buttons. I don't know, a little bit of an extra style flair. One of my complaints or worries going in was that it was going to be very plain, because the art style in Legends Arceus, I don't really know. It felt distinct. It was stylistic, and then we just kind of went to basic font choices. Everything's clean, sharp lines. I'm like, I don't know. A little bit of grunge here or there wouldn't have hurt, right? So I wonder how my feelings are going to change when they add stuff in the future, as they intend to. Maybe they will add that certain something that I'm missing, but we'll just have to wait to find out, I suppose. But that's been my experience. I mean, I've really been enjoying playing these Pokemon games. Like I've said, there are a couple where I just could not pull myself to finish it. That was partially because I was getting burnt out from playing them all. It is still nice to have the ability to play them. I was able to get a working 3DS, a new 3DS XL that had the 3D feature, which was really cool. Loved being able to see that. And so I can definitely say that I'm privileged to be able to have gotten all of these, play them, enjoy what I did, and play as much as I wanted. It was truly an enjoyable experience getting to play all of these. This is a pro and cons list, so, there's some negativity to it, but overall, it was a great time. I enjoyed playing them. And will I go back to play them? I might go back and play Sun and Moon again, Ultra Sun and Moon, because, well, it might be it's certainly in my top 3. That could move around a little bit depending on my feeling at the time, but it's certainly gonna stick up there for a while. Actually, you know what? I can give you my top 3 right now. It is in no particular order because I haven't decided, but it's definitely Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus, Ultra Sun and Moon. All 3 games that came out right next to each other, and that's Scarlet and Violet's not on that list. I really did enjoy it, but once I played the other 2 games, other than Sword and Shield, that kind of filled out that top 3, it got bumped down to, I don't know, maybe number 9? No, I'm just kidding. But that is my list for my top 3, and those are my opinions. You know what? Like I said earlier, I don't know what anyone feels about these games. There have been a few videos I've seen over the years, not even recently, where people talk about their opinions on the various games, but it's only been a couple. I haven't seen much, so I would truly be interested to hear what people think about any of the games, because I don't know. I don't know the general consensus for the series as a whole, other than what Metacritic shows, so it'd be nice to hear sort of firsthand what your experience is. What's your favorite game? What's your least favorite game? Why is it your favorite? Why is it not your favorite? Why is it your least favorite? I would love to know these things, so please put them in the comments so I can finally get caught up to speed on what the community thinks. Otherwise, thank you for watching this far. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I know I sure can't wait to figure out what I decide to do next.